Hi everyone. The purpose of this video here is to help guide people as they go through these hits, and so basically we can hopefully get a higher rate of accuracy, and also you guys can get the job done quicker, I think. Generally speaking, the task is to visit many different online retailers, just places who sell things online, and then answer a number of questions about them, most of which are really simple. So this is only going to talk about 2 of the 5 questions on here. And the first one that I wanted to discuss is number 3, which says approximately how many products does the retailer sell? So that's obviously not very complicated in terms of asking the question. In terms of answering it, though, it can be somewhat of a time waster. So I'm going to show you some tricks. Here's a online retailer. They sell wine, and this is just an example of the many hits that we need done. What I wanted to show you guys is essentially how you can kind of hack the search. So most sites have a search function, and if you put in weird characters or no characters, oftentimes you can get them to give you back every single hit that they have. So what I normally do is first track down the search box, and then I just don't enter anything, and I'll just click enter and see what happens. So it's probably hard to read, but that didn't work for this retailer. So you kind of just got to keep trying. So the next thing that's a good one that really works frequently is just a single % sign. This is actually the most likely to work. And it's probably not readable here, but you can see that it says 1 to 25 of 401 products. Now you can kind of get a good idea that you actually did get everything, because you can scroll down and see that it really is like a lot of A's, going through all the A's and then going through all the B's over time. So you can get a pretty good understanding usually that, oh wow, indeed that did essentially kind of give you all the info you needed right there. So that's one way to get that data, to get how many products they sell. You can also try all kinds of other things. I've tried dollar signs before. I've tried try /%. You can quote the % sign. Sometimes that seems to work. But just basically using special characters and spaces, you can sometimes, not always, you can sometimes have it just tell you straight out, this is how many products I have. If you can't do it and you can't get lucky and find a way to do it, then sometimes you do have to just go through, and it doesn't have to be an exact count. But for example, for a site like this, let's say we couldn't actually get all those results back the way we just did. Well, you can take a look and see about how many different categories they have here, and essentially, and then they have white wines here, and you want to see how many they have for that as well. So you can see they probably have about, I don't know, 10, 20, 30, probably about 50 different categories. And if you go through some of these, you can start to get a feel for about how many products are in each category. That one had 4, this one has 2. So this is just another way where you could basically, without having to go through and count every single one, this one has 13, just do some basic math, and you'd probably wind up with a number that's close enough to 400. So that's generally how we like to get number 3 accomplished. We don't want you guys to sit there and count every single product, because that would be ridiculous for some of these places. So the second question I wanted to talk about, and this will be it, is number 4 here. And we ask you essentially to categorize this online retailer into either a category 1, 2, 3, or 4. And we base that on some fairly simple things, but it's easier to just explain them with this video than it is to necessarily read the definitions that we have here. We basically break the retailers down into 2 different categories. Either they have individual product pages or they have list product pages. So let me show you an example of individual product pages. This site has individual product pages, because as you can see, for each of the things here, they have a link that you can go to that describes the product. And even if it didn't describe the product, like actually have all this text here which tells us about this particular wine, it's still an individual page, because obviously it's devoted to having information about this wine or the product in general. And sometimes these individual pages will have other things, other products at the bottom or something. It still means that it's an individual page, because it had a special link just for that one product, and that's obviously what the majority of online retailers are. The rarer one, which is, you don't really see that much, but we need to know when it is there, is called a list product page, or that's what we're calling it. So here's another retailer called European Wine Resource, and if you go to their site and you click on one of the categories here, you'll see what I mean. So I can scroll down, and it's probably hard for you to see in the video, but this is a list of their products here, each one of these, and they're not links. There's nothing you can do to drill down and get more information on these. Even over here, it's just, that's it. So that's what we refer to as the list product page. So when you categorize these, categories 1, 2, and 3 are for sites that have the individual product pages, because obviously that's pretty common. Category 4 is for sites that use that list style view, which is, again, somewhat rare. And then we break up category 1, 2, and 3 based on how many of the products that they have for sale actually have a text description and a picture. So you can see every place is going to have obviously the title of the product, but you can see this is a good page because it actually has a big blob of text here describing the product, and over here is the product image. So that's how you basically decide whether it's category 1, 2, or 3. It's basically category 1's most of their products have text and a picture. Categories 2, maybe some of them have text and a picture, and category 3, maybe none of them have a text and a picture, but they do still have the individual product pages. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for helping us out with these hits, and best of luck.